friends and welcome to Obsidian Soft. Today, I will teach you how to make the iconic Flappy Bird game in MIT App Inventor. Let's have a look at the demo. So when we tap on the screen, our bird goes up, and as you can see, it's a flying bird. That is, the bird has the flying animation and it has to avoid the pipes and the top and bottom edges. So open up MIT App Inventor, go to Projects, start a new project. Let's call it Flappy Bird. Keep the toolkit default, super important. Click on OK. So let's first get the bird images with the flying animation. So again, open game art. I will give the link in the video description. So just download this zip file and there will be a flying folder inside it. So that will contain images like this. So frame-1, frame-2 up till frame-8. So just get these images, okay? Besides these flying images, we need pipe image, and you can invert it to get the pipe top image, and you can even draw them. I just got them from Google, okay? Again, back to MIT App Inventor, and here I'm going to upload all my media images. Just select the images, drag it until this green rectangle shows. Again, we need the flying images, so just select them all and drop them here. So all 8 images have been uploaded and the 2 pipe images. Now we need a canvas. So from drawing and animation, drag and drop a canvas. I am going to make its background color a light blue, so I can choose cyan and make it a custom sort of like this. Okay, and make the font size 50. This is for drawing our game over message on it. I'm going to make the height 80% and the width fill parent, and I'm going to make the paint color red. And I just noticed that I forgot to make the screen one in its properties landscape. So screen orientation should be landscape, and I'm also going to turn off the title so that I have more space. Okay, now coming back to the canvas. So the canvas is set. Now we need an image sprite for our bird, and I'm going to rename it to bird sprite, and in its properties I am going to make the height 49 pixels because the original images that we uploaded are too big for this game. So I am making it smaller while keeping the aspect ratio, okay? So that the image doesn't distort. So 49 pixels height, 50 pixels width, okay? And I am also going to add another image sprite, and that is the pipe bot, short for bottom sprite, and I'm going to give it the height of 70 pixels and width is 40 pixels, okay? And the picture is the pipe bottom PNG, okay? And this bird sprite, it also has the first picture, that is frame 1, okay? Let me try duplicating it because it's not working for me on Windows 11. So I'm going to try it by pressing Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V on the Windows or Command+C, Command+V on the keyboard for Mac OS. Thankfully, it worked. I'm going to rename it to pipe top sprite, and the height and width stays the same. Just change the picture to pipe top.png. So now we need from sensors 2 clock sensors. One is for our bird animation. So I'm going to rename it to NM clock, and I'm going to turn off timer always fires, and I'm going to make the timer interval 50 milliseconds, okay? And I need another clock, so thankfully duplication is working, so Control C, Control V, rename it to now the game clock. So this is for our game loop, and I'm going to change the timer interval to 20 milliseconds, okay? Now we need a horizontal arrangement for our buttons and our scores, so just a horizontal arrangement below the canvas, align horizontal center, align vertical center in its properties. The height is 15% and the width is fill parent, and I'm also going to give it a background color of yellow for it to stand out. And I need a button, so from user interface, a button. This is our reset button, or you can say a restart button. So you can name it the way you want. I'm going to make the background color cyan, font bold, font size 20, and the text on it says, let's make it restart, okay? And let's rename this button to restart too. And then we need a label. So on the right of it, again, font bold, font size 20, and the text on it says, because when the game starts, score :0. And I'm also going to rename it. And another thing is that I would like some space in between. So you know the drill, how to add spaces between components on the screen. Just an empty label. Remove all text from it and make the width 2%. So our screen design is done. So let's go to the block section. Here we need a few global variables. So the first one is our bird frame numbers, basically. So this is number 1 because our frames start from 1 and go up to 8. Let me make it a bit bigger. Right click, duplicate. This is a status variable that tells whether the game is over or not, and in the beginning the game over status variable is false. Right click, duplicate, score, and the score is 0 in the beginning. First, let's do the more exciting part, that is animate our bird. So our bird, these are the 8 images, and as I have taught you before about sprite animation, remember my zombie animation and even the Santa Claus game, we used frames in that too. So we are going to change the picture of our image sprite after every 50 milliseconds to give the animation of the bird flying. So we need the animation clock timer event, which is fired after every 50 milliseconds. And here I am going to set my frame to a plus of whatever is already inside bird frame plus 1. So this, not 0, 1. Okay. That done, now we're going to check if my frame has now become greater than 8, because we don't have more than 8 images, frames, okay? So control, if block, and math equal to block, which we are going to change to now greater than, and on the right hand side, we are going to put a number block that says 8, and here we are just going to get whatever is inside bird frame. So if bird frame is greater than 8, we have to set it back to 0. So right click, duplicate, bring it here, get rid of the plus now. We just need to make it 0. Okay? After this if block, we are just going to set our bird sprites picture property to a join of three things. We are going to construct our PNG name of the image. So how to do that? Go to text, get the join block, click on the cogwheel, add another string to it because we need 3 slots. The first is a text block that just says frame dash. So be extra careful with the spelling because all our frames are named like this: frame dash 1, frame dash 2, and so on up till 8. So frame dash, then we need this bird frame number, and the next is .png. Okay, so this is going to take care of animating the bird. So if you try the game right now, your bird will be flapping its wings. Okay, oh, this is 1. Sorry for that, please fix this thing. I'm going to set my bird frame to 1. Okay, if it is greater than 8, set it back to 1. Now what else? We need a procedure for restarting our game. Okay, so I'm going to put in the code later. Right click, duplicate. We need a procedure for taking care of the game over situation, and we need a procedure for repositioning the pipes actually, because we have 2 of them. We call the restart procedure in 2 places: when the screen is initialized and when the restart button is clicked. Okay, so from procedures, call restart, right click, duplicate, and restart. Okay, so now let's actually put in the code for our restart. So what will come here? First of all, we are going to set our score variable to 0. Okay, next we are going to set our score label text to that reset state, that is score colon 0. Okay, then we are going to clear the canvas because restart might be called when the game was over and restart button was clicked. So we have to clear the canvas, remove the game over message from it. Next, we have to turn on our 2 clocks because we will be turning them off when the game is over. So timer enabled, logic true, right click, duplicate, our game clock again true. Next, we have to give the initial position to our bird in the middle of the screen, height wise and width wise towards the left, so somewhere here. Okay, so bird sprite, set X to a plus of bird sprite width plus 30. Okay, so this will give it a very nice position, appropriate position width wise, and we also need to give it a Y, and the Y is just a division of canvas's height by 2. Canvas height, math 2. Okay, and we have to also set our game over variable to false, and we have to call our, remember this reposition pipes procedure, which we still need to fill up, but we have to call it whenever the game is restarted or started for the first time, because we are calling restart from our initialize event too. So procedure call reposition pipes. Now let's work on our reposition pipes procedure. And what happens here is that we are going to randomize the size of our pipes, okay? So sometimes we're going to make them longer and sometimes we are going to make them back to their original size, okay? So first I'm going to make a local variable that is random number. So random for short, and it's a math random integer block which gives us a random number between 1 and 2. So this means that I can have only two values of random, either 1 or 2. So control if then else block, and we are going to check if it is 1 here. So from logic, get the equal to block, plug this in, right click, duplicate. So if it is 1, I am going to set my pipe top sprites height to 100. Duplicate it, plug this in, 100, okay? And right click, duplicate, and the pipe bottom sprites height to 70. And if it is not 1, then this means that the random number generated is 2. So we are going to do now the opposite. Right click, duplicate, now make this 70, and the bottom sprite, right click, duplicate, make this 100 now, okay? So that done. Now I'm just going to make sure that all my widths are still the same. So just right click, duplicate, do it outside the if then else block, width stays 40, right click, duplicate, and my top sprite's width also stays 40. Now I'm going to give them the position. So I am going to reposition the pipes towards the right of the screen, okay? So for that, I'm going to set right click, duplicate, pipe top sprites X to canvas dot width. So that will make sure that they are on the extreme right of the screen. And we need to do the same thing for our bottom sprite, okay? And for our Y's, so right click, duplicate. Now the top pipes Y should be 0 for it to be exactly on the top of the screen, hanging from the top. Right click, duplicate, and our bottom pipes sprite Y should be canvas dot height, okay? Here. So pause the video because this procedure is super important that you have done it exactly the same way. Next, we need to work on our game loop. So get the game clock timer event, and remember that this event is fired after every 20 milliseconds. Here, first of all, we are going to increase the bird sprite's Y so that it goes down. So Y, a plus, bird sprite again, Y, and we add a 3 to it. So math block that says 3. Next, we have to make our pipes move left. So our bird is actually not moving right, the pipes are moving left. Okay, so right click, duplicate, choose pipe bottom sprite here, and I can get here this thing. So pipe bottom sprite again, and now this is X, and this is also X. and we are actually going to subtract a number from it to make them go left. So x, and we subtract a 5 from it. And right click, duplicate exactly the same thing for our pipe top sprite and pipe top sprite here too. And now we are going to check if our pipes have reached the extreme left of the screen. So how can we do that? From control, get the if block, and from math, get the equal to block and make it now less than, okay? And we are going to check if the pipe sprite, we can use any of the sprites here because they are moving left at the same rate. So if my pipe top sprite dot x is less than the width of pipe top sprite. So here. So if my pipe top sprites dot x is less than pipe top sprites width, this means it's on the extreme left of the screen, and now we have to bring it back again to the right. So we call the procedure reposition pipes, and we also increase the score because this means that our bird has successfully flown through one batch of pipes. Okay, so from variables, get the set block, score, we can use the plus block from here, and we add a 5 to it. Okay, so I'm just going to increase the score by 5 to give a lot of credit to the bird for successfully going through the pipes. So get block and the old score, so score plus 5. And next we have to reflect this change on the screen by updating our score label. So set the score label's text to a join of two things. First is an empty text block that we need to fill up with score colon space and then our actual score value. Okay, now let's work on our game over procedure that we had left empty. So here, first of all, we are going to set our game over status variable to true because now the game is over. Next, we are going to disable our clocks. So nm clock, scroll down, set timer enabled to, right click duplicate to get the logic block and make it false. Right click, duplicate. Now this is my game clock. So I have to disable both the clocks and I have to draw the game over text on the canvas. So if I scroll up, I have this draw text block and here the text is game over. So I have to provide an empty text block that says game over exclamation mark, and to make it exactly in the middle of the screen, get canvases width block and divide it by 2 for x. So from math, get the division block, plug this in, math, and make it 2, and right click and duplicate, and now this is the height. So this will make sure that the text is drawn exactly in the center of the canvas. Okay, and when is this game over procedure called? It is called from two places. When a bird collides with something, so we are going to check using the control block that it is actually colliding. So from logic, get the OR block, and again from bird sprite, if I scroll down, I have this colliding with procedure call, and here I'm actually going to provide my actual component. So if I scroll down on the pipe bottom sprite, I have the actual component here. I plug this in, right click, duplicate, and now choose the pipe top sprite. Okay, and then if any of this is true, that is, it's either colliding with pipe bottom sprite or the pipe top sprite, I am going to call my procedure game over. And the other situation is that our bird hits the edges. So bird sprite, edge reached, right click, duplicate, game over. And last but not the least, our actual game control, that is when the canvas is touched, we want the bird to go up. So first I'm going to check that the game is not over, okay? So if block from control, from logic a not block, from variables my get block, and here I'm going to check game over. So if game over is not false, so that means the game is still running and the game is not over. So I am going to make my bird sprites y, set y block of bird, and I am going to subtract something from it to make it go up, okay? So bird sprite, again I need the y block. So set my bird sprites.y to my old y minus 50. Okay, so that will make the bird go up whenever we touch the canvas, okay? So this is done. I have already shown you the demo at the beginning of this tutorial. It was made using the exact code that I just built in front of you. I hope you enjoy creating this game. Please like the video and share it with your friends and family. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly do so that you don't miss the great projects that I've planned for you. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Have a great day and goodbye.